Life is full of different types of relationships. And in each of those relationships, the most important aspect is communication. Whether it's a friendship, a marriage, a boss-employee relationship, or whatever it might be. Communication is the most important aspect. And the largest thing about communication that matters the most is your ability to listen and process the information. You can just hear somebody speaking, and that's not enough. You have to actually listen to what's being said and have the ability to process the information in order to know how to respond appropriately. That's the ticket. If you can manage to do that, if you can manage to listen, process, and then respond, you will save yourself a tremendous amount of stress and heartache and worry. Two people both have to be committed to doing this, though. It's not just one person's place. So with that being said, if you want to make a relationship work, then the absolute best thing you can do is learn to listen and process information appropriately. You're not always going to be successful at this, and there are some things that you simply won't understand. If that's the case, then clearly identifying the portions that you don't understand and communicating that effectively with the person that you're speaking to is of utmost importance. How are they supposed to know that you don't understand if you're not willing to communicate that portion, or if you're unable to communicate that portion with them in a way that's appropriate and healthy and benefits both of you? And that's something that's going to vary on an individual basis, on a case-by-case basis, according to each person's knowledge and ability to process information. If you're playing chess and the other person is playing checkers, then obviously you're going to have a communication breakdown. But a checker player can easily learn to play chess if, number one, the chess player is willing to teach and patient enough to teach. And number two, if the checker player is patient enough to learn without frustration. A lot of times what happens is people enter into relationships or even close friendships, whatever it is, and they have expectations from that based on their past experiences, based on their past relationships, based on their past communications or lack of. So we tend as human beings to take that into our current situation, our current relationship or friendship or whatever. And what that does is it causes a lot of old toxic behaviors to be reinstated, to become fresh, to rehash themselves in a way that's problematic for the current relationship. So you have to ask yourself what it is that's important, what it is that you're trying to accomplish. If two people are trying to have a conversation with the intent of understanding each other, then a lot can be learned from one another. A lot can be gained, and that's a very, very helpful type of relationship to have. But if only one person is trying to understand the other one and is making the concentrated effort to put in the effort of listening and communicating, then this is going to be a source of resentment for the second person. The second person will be really frustrated. They'll be really frustrated because they have an inability to communicate their side of things. So there really is a point of self-awareness that you have to get to as well. You have to be self-aware enough to look at your actions, look at your words, look at your behavior, and decide if this is really beneficial to what it is you're trying to accomplish. You got to be honest with yourself. These are steps to communicating. This is stuff we're not taught, man. We're just taught to talk, and basically that's it. We learn to talk from other people. We learn our behaviors and mannerisms from other people. And most people go through their whole life without ever questioning these things and without ever making any kind of real self-improvement with it. And then we encounter the same problems, relationship after relationship, marriage after marriage, friendship after friendship. It's always somebody else's fault. It's never our fault. And this is the furthest thing from the truth. The Almighty Creator above gave us the common sense and the wisdom to utilize in order that we may reach a higher level of consciousness and a higher level of spirituality. This is only possible if we make the appropriate sacrifices and we make the appropriate adjustments in order to improve ourselves. You can't just say, I'm going to do better and then continue to do the same behaviors. That doesn't make sense. If I come in every day and I beat somebody with a ball bat after I get off of work, I come in and beat them with a ball bat every day, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and then I tell them, oh, I'm sorry, but I never changed the behavior that I'm sorry for. Does that mean that I'm really sorry for that or not? No, it really doesn't. So, introspection, that's looking at the self, being honest and assessing what it is we are bringing to the conversation, what it is we're trying to accomplish, and am I willing to change my opinion, my thought, my everything based on what evidence that the other person is providing for me, based on what words they're saying, etc. But you're only going to be able to do that if you listen and process. You can't just do it by listening. You have to actually take the time to process, consider the other person's stance on things, and then make the appropriate decision on how to respond. Everybody thinks that we have to just be so quick to shoot off at the mouth, or to shoot off with a text, or shoot off with a message, or whatever. And then what happens is a lot of people end up getting their feelings hurt. A lot of people end up having bad days and having bad conversations and bad relationships that are needless. It doesn't have to be that way. This is a personal choice based on personal decisions. So, anyways, be sure to like and subscribe. Share the video. If it's helpful to you or somebody else, then pass that along. I wish the best for everybody. I send greetings of peace and blessings upon everybody. Especially to my respected elders, my brothers and my sisters. So, that being said, peace and blessings of God be upon you all.